What up, though, and welcome, city builders, to Game Dad with Mr. Showtime, the MVP. And today we are doing episode one of City Skylines. Today we're going to be starting our brand new city, New Starteria. It's called New Starteria because it's a new start, people. See what I did there? City Skylines 1 on Xbox Series X, City Skylines Remastered. We're going to be building a city from scratch, guys. This is my first video of a multi-part series for this city. Hopefully, this is going to be kind of a joint operation. I really do want you guys to hop into the comments with your suggestions and your criticisms and maybe some tips and tricks. Make sure you do that. And while you're doing that, absolutely subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave a like on this video for my first City Skylines video, guys. We're going to jump right into it. Notifications keep popping up. I plan on building the road, Xbox. Just give me a chance. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. We are using a map out of the Park Life. We have this large river to the east here, and a bunch of land in a mountain range to the west, and to the south of the starter point we have this peninsula here. We're going to be able to do some interesting stuff here once we get down there, and we're able to get off into the ocean. You know, we can get some ports built down there. But yeah, guys, this is going to be a very interesting build. Looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and get it started. So let's unlock our roads. Just drop down a quick tile here so we can unlock those. Delete that out, and we have our roads unlocked here. So I'm going to start this city off. We're going to have a main road that's going to run the distance from here eventually all the way to what will be the downtown for this city along the riverfront. So let's go ahead and get that started here. We're going to stretch this out a bit just so we can get our city. Try and line it up in the middle as closely as possible. We're going to get a good distance on this because this will branch off into our first collector road. Let's get these connected up to some one-ways here. One-way wide sidewalks. We'll do that. All right. Perfect. And we'll just swap the directions on this here. All right, so now our Sims have a way in and out of the city. Next up, guys, we need to build our first collector here. But this is going to be our, instead of a 2-lane arterial, we could have just run these directly through the city all the way down. We're going to combine it into this 4-lane for right now. Eventually, this is going to upgrade to a 6. I'm going to drag this down just a little bit further. Give us a little bit of space there to place our first collector. Maybe I should build the collector here, start it off here, to give a little bit more space in this top area here. Yeah, we'll just build the collector from here. Straight intersection right off of. Make sure we get a full 90 degrees here. And we don't want to spend too much money, but I do want to get the bare base bones of this initial starting grid laid out. Let's see, 47. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that because our residents are going to start here. We're going to, let's do this. For our beginning first video, our goal is to fill this area here. Let's get a full residential neighborhood here. If we get to the third milestone before we fill this area in, that's where we'll stop the video. But our goal for the first section of this new start series is going to be to fill in this section here, build a neighborhood here, and get our commercial and everything. We'll start industry here. Of course, I've been playing City Skylines for about maybe a year and a half. Maybe 2 years, like really diving into it seriously. So I have a couple of tips and tricks that I like to use For right now, this is going to be our industry area. It's going to start here. Now, this industry area may move later. As you can see here, we're going to look at our info view. We have a lot of farmland all through this section here. So eventually, maybe we can get rid of dirty industry and it can just be farmland and the agriculture can be farm producing. Now over here we have oil. We're able to get into this section over here to the north. We see that dark black up there. We're gonna have all the money we need. Now, just so you guys know, I do play with unlimited resources, all right? The name of the show is Game Dad. Focus on the dad part. I don't have a lot of time to spend playing games like I used to. So I play with the unlimited resources and the unlimited soil. Sue me, all right? If you guys don't like using the unlimited, it's fine, but I hate to spend millions of dollars on a section and then run out of resources at some point, and it just really, I don't want to do that. So yes, no mods. This is all vanilla. So let's go ahead and get into starting off our city. Now, to map out the bones of our grid, I'm going to use these 2-lane median roads, right? And what this is going to do is eventually these will become 4-lane roads, small 4-lane roads. And they're going to be the bones of running through the city for bus lines and through neighborhoods. So every other neighborhood, maybe every few neighborhood blocks, we're going to have a 4-lane road that'll work as the throughway. Not a major collector, but a large enough road so where traffic and bus lines can run down on it. These will be the bare bones of the city here. So we're going to try and duplicate these roads on each side. This is a, let's see, 7 tiles wide. So we'll go here. That's 7, that's 6. So we need to go over one more. 7 tiles wide and up to the grid guideline there. So we have matching grids on both sides here. So we're just going to build the grid off of these main roads. And we're going to start off using our dirt roads. Spacing, I'm going to go up around 3. Let's see. Construction costs of 380 going up. And if you notice here, I leave this gap in between. We'll get into why I leave that gap there. But for right now, let's just build the bones of this first neighborhood and get this settled in so that we can fully get our city operational. And I'm using these dirt roads to start off with because they cost less. As you can see, I have the game paused, so I'm not losing money while I'm building the initial bones to the city. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 city blocks. Let's go 5 city blocks before we get to the next major 4-lane road, which will eventually be the first 4-lane road. Okay, here we go. Let's just bring this out a bit, just so we can line everything up correctly. Now, originally playing this, I didn't care about any of these details. Now, originally playing it, I never really cared about any of these details, but this makes putting a city together and maintaining uniformity so much easier when you just start the city off right. Nothing like a fresh city start on Cities Skylines. Okay, so on this side, we're going to format our grid just a bit differently. So this is going to be industry over here. So I don't want too many connections to our connector down here. So what I'm going to do is build off of this industry, which will be an industry road eventually. And I'm going to take this down. And they're only going to have one entrance here and one here. Right? And the rest is going to be, let's see. Yeah, this would be good for industry because they're going to be running trucks through and through. This road doesn't need to be a 4-lane, so I can actually make that a dirt road. But I'm going to do the same here. It's just going to be in this direction, going horizontal. All right. So now we have our industry area, the base industry area laid out. Except for right now, this is what we have to work with. Now we have options as far as power. We can do wind. Let's see if we have. Yeah, we don't have. We get about up to 7. Not worth it at this point because we'd have to build so many of those turbines. Maybe once we advance this way on the mountaintops, I can build some turbines out that way. But for right now, we're going to go with our just regular, highly polluting coal power plant to start. And for, let's see, for our water, we're going to do the inland water treatment plant. I don't like the water drain pipes because it does pollute the water. Eventually, I want to do something with this river here. Even if it's just small fishing vessels that can go, along this bridge and this waterway, we want to be able to use this waterway. And if we just dump all of our waste into that water, it's going to be a little while before we're able to actually use that successfully. So we'll go with the inland water treatment and a water tower to start. Instead of spending a lot of money on a pumping station, we'll start with this water tower right at the entrance to our city. So as our sims come in, first thing they see is that water tower coming in to the first intersection here, and they can dive off into the neighborhoods there. So at this point, I'm just going to make sure we have city infrastructure in place, electric and water. So let's go ahead and run a line from here to our water tower. And now we can just run this directly under the line. Shout out to City Planner Plays. Shout out to City Planner Plays, who is kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi to my Padawan. Like, I watch all of his videos, and he's really inspired me to start making videos on YouTube. So shout out to him, man. He's one of the best. Let's see. So we want to try and run our pipes directly underneath our roads. We got a little gap there, but okay, so it didn't gap that much. And we actually have pretty good coverage there. So next we're just going to make sure that we have coverage on this side here, because we're going to fill all of this in with residential eventually. Perfect. Now we have our first block grid here for our first neighborhood. And we can begin laying out this first section of neighborhood homes. Now, I'm not going to build homes off of any of these streets that will end up being 4-lane roads or off of our main collector road here. These will be reserved for commercial properties or ploppables like fire stations and police stations. So we actually have to start here on this second row on this first street. All right. So we're going to go through here, and to start this first neighborhood, I'm going to be building in 4s. And let's see how this is going to work out for us because I didn't do the measurements. Okay, so we're going to have a path, a walking path here. There will be a walking path here eventually, and there will be a walking path through the middle. So let's go ahead and get the power connected here. Let's speed it up a bit. And before we do that, guys, big tip here, big tip. Drop the budget. Drop the budget all the way to 50%. It's not going to hurt. It's actually going to help you save money and not overspend on your utilities before you need to. So always go in, drop that budget all the way down to 50% and raise it as you need it. Like that's definitely a pro tip that I've learned from watching many creators play City Skylines over the years. So I'm sure you guys are aware of that one, but just in case. All right, perfect. So we have our first connection to power here. And we just want to wait for these homes here to start popping up so that we can fill in our gaps. There we go. And we're going to be doing blocks of 4s. Now, when it comes to this section here, because I said I'm not going to be placing homes on this section, we're going to be larger commercial businesses on this row. So we're going to leave a space for 4. Then we're going to skip another line because there's going to be a pathway here eventually once we unlock landscaping. And we're going to go here. And that gives us that block there. And we can actually come across here now. Put a 4 there. And let's go 4 there. Now this is tedious, and if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this 4x4x4, but I like the larger houses, especially right off of this main collector. We want the homes to be larger. Okay, and for some reason, oh, we didn't connect our water. So there is a sewage problem in this city. And there we are. Okay. That should take care of that in just a moment. And we have our first residential street. Okay, so they're still complaining about, oh, there it is. Okay. I was gonna say they're still complaining about the water. What else did I miss? All right, guys, so we're just gonna fly through this and get this neighborhood put together, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we have our first bit of commercial demand here. So, of course, we're still going to leave this space here for walking. And then we're going to drag this first section. I'm not going to individually block these off. But one tip that I do want to offer you guys here is to consider not filling in this row and leaving this corner clear. What it does is it prevents those commercial zones from zoning on these residential side streets here, because I don't want the commercial business to be facing here. I want them front facing directly on the main street. So I never zone on those corners when it comes to commercial. And I'm leaving that gap of 2 there for a reason. Eventually, once landscaping is unlocked, you'll see why. I'll explain all of the methods of my madness once we do that. And we've completely cleared our residential demand. So let's go ahead and dive into our industrial demand here, which is skyrocketed. Same with the industrial. I never put them on the corner because I want them to develop on these industrial streets. Okay, so we'll go there. And there are exceptions. I mean, there's always an exception to every rule where I make it into a situation where I need to put the industry on one of these main 4 roads here or onto a collector even. But starting off, I try to be diligent about it and not do that. Eventually, we'll have a bridge crossing up here to clear this freeway to where you can travel back and forth across for the neighborhoods in this area. All right, so our industry is coming in nicely now. And we're just waiting for development to go through. Now you can make buildings historical. What'll happen is this house, if I was to make this building historical, it'll never lose this look. Even if it upgrades several times over, it's still gonna look exactly the same. It'll conserve this building visually. I don't really make too many buildings historical though. I mean, that's you guys' thing. That's fine. All right, so just paying attention to this traffic here reminded me of one thing that we need to take care of. We need to establish these roads as priority roads. So Belmont Avenue, which is our first collector, we're going to make that a priority road. And along with that, we're going to remove majority of these stoplights and just put stop signs there. We'll leave the stoplights on the major streets, which will be the 4-way streets eventually. The 4-lane streets, I'm sorry. We'll leave them there for right now. This one we don't really need. Further down, we'll deal with that one. But we also want to go in and priority road these streets here, just so we can put stop signs in. And as the city grows, you know, it'll continue to recognize that road as a priority. Okay. All right, perfect. We're at 283 sims. We need to get to 480 sims to unlock the elementary school, which is important in early city because educated sims produce more money and less garbage. All right, so we're sticking with our 4x4 here. We still want to have larger properties in this area. And stick with it, guys. Like I said, if this is something you don't want to do, you could just fill it all in at once, man. Like, you can definitely do that. But I just really like the aesthetic when these houses, these larger houses come in and they begin to upgrade. First neighborhood is coming along nicely. Industry has been completely knocked down. People are still moving in. Residential demand is high. So let's just go ahead and fill out the rest of this neighborhood. Okay, and there we go. We got the little hamlet. We actually got there pretty quick. 480 sims, unlocking the medical clinic, the elementary school recycling center, landfill site, which we won't be using, as well as the taxes and loans. So at this point, let's pause the game and let's go into our economy tab and let's set our taxes to 12%. This is the magic number when it comes to taxes. Now you can go higher, or you can keep them at where they are. But if you go higher than 12%, you run the risk of your Sims beginning to complain about the tax rate. So it's best to either leave it at where it's at, or anywhere between where it starts at and 12%. That's the sweet spot. 12% will get you the maximum amount of residential tax income without them complaining. So they don't seem to mind the 12% across the board. So we usually set it at that. We also received an influx of cash. So let's go ahead and put that cash to use. Let's see if we left enough room for an extension here. 380. Yep, we got enough room. Okay, so we can do an extension here. And what I'm gonna do is on this block right here, I'm gonna build an elementary school. And I'm gonna place it right up against this road. And eventually I'll fill this entire block in with little parks and walkways and playgrounds. But for right now, we need to get our Sims educated. So let's go ahead and drop our very first elementary school right on the Lake Street. And the industry has reached a high demand. So let's get more industrial zonage going here. More jobs, which more jobs means more Sims. More Sims mean more money. More money means expansion. Okay. All right, looks like we need to boost up our electricity availability. So we'll boost that up to about 70. And as the water rises, we'll do the same. And eventually we'll raise our road budget up as well. And as that commercial budget begins to come back in, we have a couple of spots here that they can where they can fill in. As you can see, that this one's coming in now. And these dirt roads will all get upgraded. We'll upgrade them all into regular 2-lane roads. For right now, we don't need to. But before you do any detailing, pro tip: before you start doing any detailing after unlocking landscaping, make sure you've upgraded any roads in that area to regular cement roads. There's nothing worse than spending 30 minutes detailing on an area, and because you didn't upgrade the roads, and now you do, all those fences you laid down, all those nice details you put on the edge of the road, they're gone now because the road has to expand. They were much wider. Like, just look at the difference. This road is a lot wider than this one, so you have to account for those sidewalks. So just be careful there. And also inside this neighborhood here, what I want to do is leave a small section for the high school. So the high school is probably going to go along this road here, which is Elm Street. And it's going to have a football field and a few parks and some walkable areas within this full neighborhood block section here. So we're going to leave that empty. And we do need to build a recycling center. Totally forgot about that. So Let's pause the game and come over to this area here. Now, I could just drop the recycling center right into this cluster here where the rest of this industrial zoning is. But what I want to do is give it its own little section, its own. And this will give me some space to expand this area as well. Right off of that road there. All right, and we'll unpause and let's get everything working. Let's see those garbage trucks flying out of the recycling center. And so far we have a beautiful city, nice grid being developed. We have different areas ready for future expansion. We're looking good, guys. This first starting off, we're looking really, really solid right now. So let's go ahead and spend a little bit more money and build out these lower city blocks. As a matter of fact, do I really want to keep that? I'll tell you what, guys, let's build a little bit and we'll come back and talk about it. All right, perfect. So look at that. We are at Worthy Village here. We haven't been playing for long, but we're already at Worthy Village, unlocking a new area. We've unlocked districts and policies. We also have a second loan, which I think we are going to take because we need to add our police station and our fire department. We unlocked some unique buildings, as well as the forestry specialization and the agriculture. So that's pretty good. Self-sufficient buildings, maybe we'll use them later in the game. Organic and local produce will go hand in hand with our agriculture and farming eventually. And we got the high capacity elementary, firehouse, and police station, as I mentioned, along with the mountainside DLC. We are gonna take a loan. We're gonna take the 60 police station off of this main road here. And we'll also go fire department on the other side of this main road here. All right, guys, so we're gonna just keep building at this point until we get to the point to where we can lay our high school into this district here. So let's see what our next milestone actually is. Our next milestone is 1,500 people. It opens up the parks. All right, so perfect. That would be a perfect section to end the game once we unlock that. So let's try and get to 1,500 Sims so that we can at least lay the groundwork for our high school district. That'll be right here. It's going to be very, very, very interesting once I unlock landscaping and we're able to go in and actually detail that area. I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that one, with that video. Especially any tips and suggestions you guys have, please let me know. Send them in. I'm always open to learning new things, especially in cities. And I'm still learning a lot of the game. A lot of the DLC I have not played before, so we'll be sharing that for the first time together on this channel. Cities 2 is not available on Xbox, so and it's not on Mac because I have a Mac, so we haven't got our hands on Cities 2 yet. So I'm still on Cities 1, and from what I hear about Cities 2, I'm probably glad I am still on Cities 1 right now. Not a lot of good praise for Cities 2 so far, but maybe it's one of those games where, 5 years down the road, it'll open up and become a great game, kind of like how Cyberpunk did. Getting into some of the hilly topography now, which we can't prevent, unfortunately, because we don't have landscaping tools. So we just kind of got to deal with it, but it's fine. Let's fill in this industrial demand. We're going to allow it to go down one more neighborhood block, and then we'll connect. There's going to be bus lines that run through along these 4-lane roads, which they're going to be eventually. So I don't want to break the neighborhood up. So just like we had 2 blocks here and then another main street, we're going to do the same here. We got one here, we got one here, and then we're going to go down another. So let's just fill this neighborhood in because we are right at our goal. We're definitely going to hit it within the next couple of minutes. And we're going to get our high school campus started, and that's where we'll end the video for today. Drop A. And was that our milestone? Yes, we hit our milestone, guys. We did hit it. And let me just clear this out here. And we're going to pause the game, and we're going to go ahead and build our high school campus. I like this high school version here, so we're going to go with this one. I'm going to place it right along, I believe this was Elm Street. I'm going to put that there. And then right behind it, we're going to come in with a 2-lane wide sidewalk road. And behind it, we're going to add staple of all American high schools. We're going to add the football field. I'm going to scoot this school over a bit. And we're gonna place a large parking lot next to it. We'll stick something in that section there. But this way it gives way for a nice view of the football field. And you see the topography kind of looks a little janky, but I mean, it is what it is, guys. At this point, that's what we got to work with. I'm not going to spend a lot of my money that I have on this landscaping. We'll make it look good eventually, but right now, that's as far as we're going to go because our next step is going to be to upgrade these roads so that we can start doing some detailing around this area here. All right, guys. So that is going to do it for the first episode of City Skylines here on Game Dad with Mr. Showtime, the MVP. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a like on this video because we will definitely be back with episode 2. We got a lot of stuff in store. Hopefully, we can hit the bus milestone in the next one and get our bus lines running through the city so we can have school buses, we can have mass transit going. Going to be very, very interesting, as well as the detailing around the city, adding in parts. It's going to be super fun, guys. So make sure you absolutely subscribe and hit the like button on this video and leave a comment. If you got any suggestions for me, anything you'd like me to try, or anything where you see this city going, this can be our city, guys. Absolutely. Drop a comment below, read everything, respond to everything. I'm just happy to be a part of the City Skylines community now, guys. So thank you for joining me, and we will catch you guys on the next episode of Cities. Peace.